France's prime minister is resigning today after losing a vote of confidence in parliament. Francois Bayrou called the vote himself in a last-ditch effort to get his budget plan passed. Now French President Emmanuel Macron will have to find a new prime minister for the third time in a little over a year. ABC's foreign correspondent Tom Soufi Burridge is in Paris with more. Tom, what's the latest on how this went down?
Yeah, Diane, so within the last hour, the French Prime Minister, or former French Prime Minister now, Francois Bayrou, has gone to the Elysee Palace, tendered his resignation to French President Emmanuel Macron. Now, he did that because he lost a vote of confidence in the Parliament yesterday, and he called that vote of confidence in the Parliament, the Prime Minister, because he had put forward a raft of economic measures to try and reduce France's deficit, because France has a very large and growing public debt. And what you've got in France is a deeply divided Parliament. The former Prime Minister now unable to get those economic measures through. It included scrapping 2 national holidays. So you can imagine many politicians across the spectrum were opposed to that. And basically, we now have a real sense of political crisis in France, but also it is linked to this potential financial crisis and this huge debt which keeps on growing, and the divided political class at the moment unable to tackle it in any meaningful way.
Tom, now Ban Everything protests are being organized for tomorrow in France. What can you tell us about those? What do you expect?
Yeah, so the far left groups, unions are all organising what they hope and are calling a day of paralysis in France. We're expecting protests right across the country. We've just been hearing from France's Interior Minister, who says that 100,000 police officers and gendarmes will be deployed to protect critical infrastructure. So, here in France, we're expecting disruption at airports. We're expecting disruption on public transport. There could be disruption at schools. There could be disruption around oil refineries and those kind of institutions as well. The French government says it will crack down hard on anyone carrying out illegal activity. It maintains the right of people to protest peacefully in organised demonstrations, but we'll be looking at tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see how widespread this really is, whether or not this really is significant, this day of action, but it plays into this kind of political crisis in the country and, a deeply divided nation. And this sense that, yes, there is a massive, massive debt, but people just can't agree on how it should be tackled and what should be done at the political level to address it.
And President Macron has been playing a central role in diplomacy with the U.S. over the war in Ukraine. So how does this impact him now to not have a prime minister?
Well, look, he remains in office, Diane. The president's term runs through to 2027, but it's a distraction. I mean, on the domestic front, he's effectively paralysed for the moment, for the time being. I mean, Macron says he will appoint a new prime minister in the coming days. That is a kind of message of reassurance to the country and possibly to the financial markets too, because, amid this sense of crisis, the amount of interest that France is paying on its public debt goes up because of the uncertainty. So, look, the French government is saying we will be able to get a new government, a new prime minister, but it won't be easy. I mean, finding a prime minister who can get a majority of support in a deeply divided parliament and also push through economic measures which are needed to address the debt won't be easy at all. And therefore, Macron is distracted. He's supposed to be going to New York this week. He will be there on the question of Israel and recognizing a Palestinian state, which the US is deeply opposed to, but also on Ukraine. I mean, it's a distraction for him. That said, the president remains in control. And also, foreign affairs, foreign policy is really the prerogative of the president himself and not the prime minister who runs the government underneath him.
All right, Tom Soufi Burridge, always great to have you, Tom. Thank you.